teeny tiny bit of marijuana is not something that you should be upset about.
Who were completely let go. So like you were saying, it's almost kind of like they were picking on them, so to say, because they were Alabama football players and they were in the state of Louisiana. So, you know, that's one of those things, too. Excuse me. And I read, too, like I mentioned in the comment section and from other publications and stuff around the country, is everyone's like, well, this is typical Alabama politics or this is Alabama justice and everything. It's like, no, read the article. This didn't even happen in the state. Like, and that's some of my frustration with everything is they take the small tidbits from the article or from what happened and they sit there and turn that around and make it out to be something completely different. Read the entire story, look at the evidence, and then make a decision then. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I was.
But you know, it's so funny. Again, I was listening to another show yesterday, and a guy called in and goes, "How do we know that stolen gun wasn't used in a murder?" Well, now, I mean, how do you know? Well, how do you know he didn't know the gun was stolen? I mean, you can do all that game all you want to, and in the end, these guys caught a lot of negative attention. They have. I can almost assure you, this could come back to haunt him in his draft status, barring something. Having an incredible junior year. He's going pro after this year. We all know that. So we have seen that these things can have an effect on somebody's draft stock. So it's already harmed him to some degree. What exactly do you want? Do you want blood from the guy?
Exactly.
And people get off for small charges like this all the time. And sometimes they don't get off for small charges like this. I mean, it depends on where you are, who you are. And the other thing that have so many people so disgusted by this, and I use disgusted very sarcastically, I use it truthfully, but I'm saying it sarcastically, is that they think, well, this is just football players getting preferential treatment. Haven't football players always gotten preferential treatment?
Exactly.
Don't the good-looking girls get out of speeding tickets? I mean, that's the way life works. I mean, if you have connections, if you have talent, if you're good at something, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt more often than not. That's the way it works. That's part of America. It's just how it is. It's not all created equal. For instance, if Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers goes into a bar and you go into a bar, his drinks are going to be free. You're going to pay for yours. That's just how it's a perk.
Exactly. And like you said, if you're mad at that, it's life. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. It's just how things are and what they'll always be. And also another thing, too, is if you look into their crime history and everything, they've never been in trouble before as well. So things like this happens a lot, and people get off with things with worse charges just because their crime history may not be extensive or may not have any kind of record at all. So, I mean, at the same time, it may be preferential, but at the same time, a lot of stuff like this happens all the time for first-time offenders or you know, it's cases like that.
Without naming names, obviously, I have friends that probably should have been thrown under the jail on several occasions, but they had connections.
Exactly.
They knew people. Their father was a somebody, their uncle was a somebody, their aunt was a somebody. You have friends like that. You out there have friends like that have been able to get around something because of somebody you know or because of who you were. And that's just how it goes. And if you haven't been able to get over it like that, then my advice would be you need to try and do better and make some more connections, because that's what makes the world go around.
Yeah,
I don't mean to sound pompous about it, but Cam Robinson is going to get more of the benefit of the doubt than if you or I were there.
Oh, I would be.
And that doesn't hurt my
jail.
feelings.
Yeah.
It should. Cam Robinson's a bigger name, and he's going to be. But at the same time, if you're a nobody, you might be able to just walk away from it like the two guys that were with Cam Robinson.
Exactly.
And Hootie Jones. So, I mean, that can work the other way. These guys also have the spotlight on them at all times. And if something like this happened, and if you and I got busted in that park, it doesn't make a big news story. Exactly. I mean, we have to deal with the embarrassment with the families. These guys have to deal with this forever. It's always going to be there. Even with the charges dropped, everybody who's not an Alabama fan is going to treat them as if the charges were 100% accurate and they stuck.
Exactly. And it goes both ways. There's always something that happens like this, and you sit there, and there'll be the jokes and everything else too. But like you said, I mean, it's the world we live in. You can't sit and be mad at it because it'll drive you crazy if you do. But it's just how things work.
Well, we will definitely be talking about that with Mark Burnett and also with Jamie Barnes, and definitely going to talk about it with Robert Mosley, who will be calling in, the attorney from down in the Mobile area. We can talk recruiting if you'd like to. Man, what a big weekend for Tennessee in terms of numbers, quantity-wise. Tennessee got like 8 commitments. Now, I think only one of them was a 4-star and the rest were 3 stars. But it was definitely quantity over quality, I guess. But they picked up a lot of recruits this past weekend. And Auburn got a big one in Austin Troxell. Now, this is a kid that I've seen play a lot. Adam, you know, I'm part of the AHSA radio network, so I get to go on the field, and I do a lot of the sideline reporting for 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, and 7A. And I remember vividly being on the sideline at Bryant-Denny Stadium when Austin Troxell was a freshman. And Kerryon Johnson was out there, Malik Miller was out there, and I just kept looking at this kid going, there's your next star. Yeah. I mean, he was already about 6'6", pretty filled out, wide shoulders. And I said, and obviously he is, that has come to fruition. He is a 4-star kid, very, very good player. I don't think he's going to come in and be a first-year starter or anything, but I think he's the kind of guy that's going to be around Auburn, maybe get a red shirt, be there 4 years, be a 4-year starter, 3-year starter after that. He's going to be the kind of guy that when he's a senior, he could definitely be all SEC caliber. I think he's a heck of a player.
If Auburn can develop him. I've always said that Auburn has the worst problems developing players. You come in as a 5-star, leave as a 3-star. So I guess we'll see right there. I guess we'll see how that goes.
You know, all I can say is the Alabama-Auburn thing, I take it as seriously as Brett and Randy do on their side and as you do on our side. But Austin Troxell's the kind of guy to me that I'm gonna pull for. I don't care where he goes. I've met him a few times, talked to him a few times. Very, very solid kid from a great family and a great program, and I wish him nothing but the best. We can talk about USA Soccer if you'd like to. I know there are some people in this community interested in that. And Bill Battle taking a leave of absence today for cancer treatment. We can certainly go over that as well. Later in the program, we'll have an interview with Kyle Caldwell that Scott Hardy did earlier in the week. Also, we'll replay the interview from Brian Matthews from the Auburn Rivals site that they had on Sports Call today. We'll go ahead and go to our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about our players of the week.
Our number one concern, advanced heat and air.
Whether it's hot or cold, let Advanced Heating and Air make sure your house is ready for any season. If any of your equipment needs serviced or replaced, now is a great time to call us. Get 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Whether you need your system serviced or it's time for something new, call Advanced Heating and Air today.
Your comfort is our number one concern, advanced heat and air.
The Sure Shot, located on Highway 280 in Alexander City, is Lake Martin Sportsman's headquarters. In the market for a new rifle or shotgun? Come to the Sure Shot. Want a new bow or need to practice with the one you have? Come to the Sure Shot. Thinking about a firearm for self-defense? Come to the Sure Shot. Got a hunt planned and need some gear? Come to the Sure Shot. For all your archery, shooting, and hunting needs, let the Sure Shot be your first stop.
If your New Year's resolution is to stop walking and start riding, then resolve yourself to run to Lake Martin Truck and Auto on Old Dadeville Road. Lake Martin Truck and Auto is the bank, and you don't need to worry about past credit, getting your tax money, or finding the ride that suits you, because Lake Martin Truck and Auto has the lowest down payments and monthly payments in the area with the best selection. Don't let the Slick City dealer take all that tax money or hassle you with credit. Lake Martin Truck and Auto, Old Dadeville Road in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Over the years, S&S Tire's grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized E-Z-GO cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect E-Z-GO cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best E-Z-GO carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. Luke Robinson, Adam Blankenship. Now we're going to jump right into our Players of the Week. Since we have so many interviews coming up on the program, definitely want to get to these guys. First of all, the Russell Building Supply and Russell Do-It Center Sports Blitz AHSA Radio Network Player of the Week is Tanner Burns of Decatur High School, named the Class 6A Hitter of the Year after batting .472 with 13 homers, 12 doubles, 4 triples, and 60 RBIs. On the mound, he went 5-2 with 2 saves, a 1.11 ERA, 80 strikeouts, and 16 walks in 50 1/3 innings. Recently flipped his commitment from Alabama to Auburn over the weekend.
It's not a bad season right there. The next one is our Montgomery Area Player of the Week, brought to you by Kenneth Ingram Jr., your personal injury attorney. It's Brian Anderson of Montgomery Catholic. The 6'3", 286-pound offensive lineman has committed to the University of North Carolina. He's a 3-star according to 24/7 Sports.
You know, there was another 3-star today that committed to Vanderbilt from Brooks High School, a linebacker. The state of Alabama is absolutely loaded this year.
Full of talent.
Lyman Ward Military Academy AISA Player of the Week is Turk Pettit from Lee Scott Academy. The rising senior won the 100th Alabama State Amateur Championship with a 6 under 278 at the Country Club of Birmingham West. The Clemson commit won by 1 stroke over Vanderbilt sophomore Patrick Martin.
The East Alabama Player of the Week, brought to you by the Alabama National Guard, is Myra Mack of Smith Stations High School. She won the Alabama Sports Writers Association Girls Track 400-meter Athlete of the Year after clocking the state's fastest time, 55.54 at the outdoor state meet in Gulf Shores to win the Class 7A title.
The Alabama National Guard Lee County Player of the Week is Shelby Wall from Auburn High School, named to the AL.com Girls Soccer First Team Super All-State. The North Alabama signee finished her senior season with 39 goals and 25 assists.
The Shelby County Player of the Week, brought to you by Central State Bank, is Seth Torman Jr. of Pelham High School. The junior goalkeeper was named First Team Super All-State by AL.com. He made 114 saves for the season. For the Class 6A semifinalists include 9 saves on penalty kicks and will participate in the North-South All-Star Game next month.
The Alabama National Guard Lake Martin Area Player of the Week is Ruth Ann Ballard from Benjamin Russell High School, named to the Alabama Coaches Girls Second Team All-State to go along being named to the 6A First Team All-State for her defensive efforts in her senior season. So congratulations to all those players. You've done an incredible job, and congratulations to all the sponsors, and thanks to all the sponsors for being a part of this as well.
Yeah, definitely. As you can tell right there, there's tons of talent here in the state. Like you talked about with the football players, tons of talent all throughout the state. So it's nice to see those kids get some of the, get the praise and get those scholarships, move on to the next level.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the state of Alabama as balanced talent-wise as it is this year. There lots of times we'll have maybe 1 or 2 5-stars, and then maybe 10 to 12 4-stars, and then a few 3s, and then some 2s, etc. This year, I think we might have maybe a 5-star, or maybe just a bunch of high 4-stars, maybe 10 of those, and then several regular 4-stars, and then no shortage of 50 3-stars. The state is absolutely jam-packed. If Alabama weren't recruiting at the level it is right now, meaning so much nationally, this would be the kind of year that a guy like Mike Shula would really clean up in the state of Alabama, because you'd have a bunch of guys that are good enough to play at Alabama or Auburn or LSU, or really just about wherever they want to go in most seasons.
Yeah.
But right now, Alabama and really a lot of the SEC is recruiting so nationally. It's one of those things where these guys, a team like Vanderbilt, can go to Brooks High School and get a big-time linebacker, a guy that Alabama and Auburn may look back later and say, gosh, I wish we had looked a little bit more into him. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have more from Sportz Blitz Live. Oh, shit, why?
He's in Disney World.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with zero, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote in terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work for free credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for zero down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats, and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Woo, it's hot outside.
Summer is here, and you can save like never before during the Drive and Discover event at Bice Motors. Save over $4,600 on this new, well-equipped Jeep Cherokee Sport, now just $20,500.
That's a good-looking Jeep.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
You won't get savings like these anywhere else.
Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson, Adam Blankenship, and for anybody who's not a fan of Alabama, you can set your jimmies to rustled right now, I think, because a lot of people are upset about the Cam Robinson, Hootie Jones charges being dropped. Well, we have a guy on the phone now that may be able to answer some questions and what really went on in this case. Mr. Robert Mosley, an attorney from Mobile. Robert, how are you tonight?
I'm doing just fine, guys. How are y'all?
Doing great. Thanks so much for being with us this evening. So, look, you know about this case, I'm sure. Everybody in the world knows about this case, it seems like. So what ended up happening in the end?
Well, as far as what I know about the case, I only know about as much as everybody else does from reading the internet. a lot of the facts of this case were sealed due to the juvenile status of both defendants, or the two primary defendants, be Cam Robinson and Hootie Jones. But from what I understand, well, everybody understands, the prosecutor didn't feel like he had sufficient evidence to lead to a conviction, which was the end result. But I think that the question that everybody's been asking, or at least on the radio, from what I understand, is, did the status of these two gentlemen as being football players or football players at the University of Alabama have anything to do with the dismissal? And I don't know, maybe it'd be best to have an odds maker on to figure out what the odds of two former Louisiana high school football stars who were stolen from the state of Louisiana by the head coach of the University of Alabama, what the odds would be that the charge would be dismissed. That's probably the question that's most interesting to me. I don't think anybody would give you anything less than 100 to 1 odds that the charges would have been dropped. But from what I can tell, the prosecutor did not feel very confident in the evidence holding up and leading to a conviction. From what I understand, these two young men were in a parked vehicle along with some other occupants, and apparently the police officers approached the vehicle and saw a handgun in the lap of, I believe, Hootie Jones, who was sitting in the passenger seat. And upon getting everybody out of the vehicle, discovered a small amount of marijuana in the vehicle and a stolen firearm under the driver's seat. I think those are the basic facts that I read in the arrest report that was printed online. But if I'm not mistaken, the vehicle was a rental car. And I think that plays a big factor in the prosecutor's decision in moving forward or not, primarily because in order to prove illegal possession of a firearm, in this case a stolen firearm, you would have to prove that the person actually possessed the stolen firearm. So in a situation where the gun was discovered under the driver's seat, and it's a rental car, I think that the state, the prosecutor, or the state who represents the state in this situation, probably felt like he had a difficult time proving possession. In Alabama, and I'm not familiar with all the laws of the state of Louisiana, but in Alabama, the state or the prosecutor can make a case for constructive possession, meaning, if a person had the opportunity to have possession of the instrument at the time of the arrest, then they could try to prove what's called constructive possession. But in this case, since Mr. Robinson didn't own the vehicle, I think that it would have been pretty easy for a defense attorney to place doubt in the mind of the jury as to whether Mr. Robinson knew the firearm was there or not. That firearm could have been left there by the previous renter of that vehicle, so to speak.
Well, Robert, would they have also have to prove that he knew the gun was stolen? Would you have to prove that as well, or no?
Well, and that's an interesting question. Depending on the charging instrument, which I've not seen, I believe that the charge was possession of a stolen firearm, and in that case, you don't necessarily have to prove that the person knew that the firearm was stolen. Okay, because you could be in possession of a stolen handgun. Typically, it's left up to the defense to create doubt in the mind of the jury as to whether the person knew whether it was stolen or not. But in this case, I think that the primary factor in dismissing that charge was that the prosecutor probably had trouble linking Mr. Robinson's knowledge of the gun's presence there in the vehicle at all, and not whether he knew it was stolen or not. If there's a handgun under a seat, then the prosecutor is the one that has to prove that the driver or the person charged with the crime knew that the gun was under the seat. And again, in this case, being that the vehicle was a rented vehicle or a rental vehicle, I think that it'd be pretty easy for a defense attorney to make the case that it's very possible that the previous renter of the vehicle may have left that gun under the seat, and then somebody else gets in the vehicle and drives it away and doesn't know it's there. I think that's the primary factor as far as what I could glean from reading the information on the internet that makes me think that the prosecutor was really wrestling with that part of the case. It's important to remember in all criminal cases that whether we think of the defendant as guilty or innocent or whatever we think of the case is really not material. The defendant comes into the court presumed to be innocent, and it's the prosecutor's job to prove him to be guilty. And that standard, again, the burden of proof being beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think that the prosecutor had a tough nut to crack there in proving that this gentleman knew that the gun was under the seat. And I think it's immaterial whether he knew it was stolen or not, because they would have had to jump the first hurdle before they could have gotten to that.
Hey, Robert, Adam Blankenship here. Got a question for you. Do you think, and we had talked about earlier, there seemed to be 2 other suspects in the car as well, but they were released. Do you think that may have weakened the case or maybe even brought into question the intent for the search warrant at all? Did that play any kind of factor?
I'll take that in 2 different parts. First, the number of occupants of the vehicle, which is what I think you're getting at. The more people you have in a vehicle, of course, the tougher time you have in trying to figure out who possessed what substance or what instrument that may be located in the vehicle. You're going to have more people pointing the finger more different directions. So that definitely makes it more difficult. As to the intent on the search, from what I understand, the vehicle was parked in a parking lot at a facility that was closed. So I think that the officers probably had reason to believe that they could approach the vehicle, ascertain what was going on. It's my understanding that when they approached the vehicle, the passenger, who I think is Hootie Jones in this situation, let the officers know that he had a gun in his lap. I believe that's what led to the officers looking into it a little bit further instead of just asking the question of, hey, what are you guys doing there? So from what I understand, Mr. Jones was not prosecuted because the gun that was in his possession or on his person or in his lap was not illegal for him to possess the firearm in the vehicle according to the laws of Louisiana. So again, I think the other dynamic that's worth mentioning here is that the charges are really brought to the prosecutor by the officers. The prosecutor takes the information in the arrest report and brings a complaint, a formal complaint. At that point, there's generally some further investigation into the facts of the case by the prosecutor, who's then going to take it and try to take the case to trial. And I think it's at that point that prosecutor said, whoa, wait a second, I don't know that we have enough to link their actions to the factors that are necessary to prove the charges that are brought here. I think that's what's going through his mind, because the laws are really designed to prevent people from being convicted, and it really places a heavy burden on the state to prove that case, again, beyond a reasonable doubt, which that statement gets thrown around a lot, beyond a reasonable doubt, but it's difficult to do that in a situation where somebody doesn't give a confession, for example. I mean, how are you really going to prove that he knew the gun was under the seat, for example? That to me is the whole crux of the issue for the prosecutor. He evidently was very confident that he could not prove that he knew the gun was under the seat.
Well, and then Robert, at that point, if you throw out this the gun charge, illegal gun charge, really what you're left with is 4 guys with a very small amount of marijuana, and I guess the thinking is, hey, I mean, this isn't even a battle we want to fight. And really, is it that irregular that a case that turns into something very minor with marijuana just never gets seen to the light of day?
Well, yeah, I think that's becoming more common, and as far as what we see with so many states legalizing that substance, prosecutors in most states have a lot bigger crimes to worry about, and not to minimize somebody possessing an illegal substance, but the fact that you've got so many people in a vehicle, such a small amount of a substance, you've got all these people pointing the finger at each other, and the prosecutor, from what I read on the internet, basically said that it was going to be difficult to prove who actually had possession of the marijuana. And again, the key factor is that that vehicle was not registered to any of the people that were in the vehicle. So if it was registered to Cam Robinson, I would almost guarantee you that charge would have stuck, because the laws in most states make it constructive possession, meaning it doesn't matter whether you actually had it in your pocket or not. If it's your vehicle and the substance is found in your vehicle, you're going to be on the hook for it unless somebody pipes up and says it was theirs. So I really think that the fact that it was a rental vehicle probably is the biggest factor in this whole situation.
Well, Robert, thanks so much for being with us and clearing up a lot of this. We appreciate your insight, buddy.
Hey, not a problem, anytime.
That was Robert Mosley, brother of our own Justin Mosley, the producer here at Sportz Blitz Live. Really do appreciate his coming on. And I guess the question I have in here, what he said made a ton of sense to me. Yeah. It all makes a lot of sense. But then I do want to ask the question, why were they in a rental car?
Right.
I guess I'm asking that. It doesn't matter. It's not illegal to rent a car. I just find it weird. But that's a whole nother thing. You can't suspend somebody for renting a car. It's just the way it is. And again, he may still be suspended. Adam, would you suspend these 2 players?
I believe some kind of action has to be taken. That's a tough question, because I'm really torn. I do believe that some sort of action has to come about for this, whether it be a game or a half or something like that. But, with the charges being dropped and everything, it seems like, should you or do you? I mean, it's just,
that's the catch.
I'm still kind of torn on which direction to go with it.
The stupidity is still there.
Yeah, so know they've done something wrong, but just because
kids do stupid things all the time,
yeah.
And if you're not charged with anything, it's kind of hard to punish him for that. However,
it is a gun.
I've thought about this. I think I would suspend him 2 games.
Yeah.
I personally would. Now, it's easy for me to say. My job's not on the line. I'm not trying to win a national championship. And I don't have a bazillion fans that'll go crazy if he's suspended and we lose.
No,
but
my hang up on it is the gun. I mean, there's
that's not even my hang up on it, because here's my defense of that. Okay, all right, if you're going to be crazy enough to go to this park that you shouldn't be in at 2:45 in the morning to smoke dope, something tells me you better have a gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, then you better have a way of protecting yourself. Now, if maybe he didn't know the gun was stolen, nobody's ever said he stole the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess I look at this as there's so much negative publicity about this. There's so much stupidity involved. I think it could help him out. Maybe not 2 games. Maybe you suspend him If you suspend him 1 game, that's enough. But I go back to Mississippi State. They have suspended Jeffrey Simmons 1 game, and that game's South Alabama. To me, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I think I would make him take a red shirt, to be honest with you, and consider that a suspension for the season. I think his crime is much more egregious. There was nothing violent that went down with Cam Robinson and Huey Jones. But I think that last interview cleared a lot of this up. I hope it did for you out there. I'm sure if you're not an Alabama fan, you're still upset. All I can tell you is you got to deal with it.
Sorry.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back with more from Sportz Blitz Live.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Don't you know there's no clean like Peaches and Clean?
Wow, your carpets look fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to Peaches and Clean.
They look new again.
They also clean my kitchen tile.
Simply amazing. I'm calling Peaches and Clean today.
Just call 502-5326. Oh yeah, they have an area rug cleaning facility too.
Peaches and Clean is now expanded to the Alexander City Lake Martin Market. Give them a call at 334-502-5326.
Call us up at Peaches and Clean.
This sensation salad is so good. It's like change your life good. You have your own late night show?
And we are back! We're back with Sarah. Sarah, I'd like you to meet Liam. Liam and his lemur.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Sensation Salad is back. Chicken fingers, crispy wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey sesame sauce, and a veggie egg roll. Only at Zaxby's.
Wireless Advantage is Lake Martin's Verizon premium retailer, located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280 in Alex City. We've got all the latest cell phones along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets, all backed up by Verizon's premium nationwide network. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander City on Highway 280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
What's America's best-selling brand of trucks? You're in for a big surprise, pal. Actually, you're not. It's Ford F-Series again, and it wasn't even close. Same trucks that have been leading the industry for 39 straight years. Why? Game-changing innovation, like F-150's high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy, which helps make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. Innovation. It's why Ford F-Series is making every other truck brand history.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. Luke Robinson riding solo for just a moment. But I do want to welcome in a very special guest. There are a lot of Alabama fans out there who write for various websites. I do it. There are other folks that do it. But there are very few who do it with as much passion as Jamie Barnes, our next guest. Jamie, how are you tonight?
I'm good, Luke. Thanks for having me on.
Jamie has been a student recently at the University of Alabama, has got a lot of great connections, has a podcast called Talk of Champions I listen to quite frequently. He's got some great insight, and he's going to be starting a new website very soon. He's been with Bama Hammer, and he's going to move over to a new website called Rising Tide, or it may be something else. They're debating on the name. But I do have a beef with you, Jamie. I saw in your profile for Bama Hammer, you've never seen any Star Wars movie?
Not a second, not one.
As a guy who saw it, I believe, 27 times in the theater, the original, when I was young, then I take great offense to that. But we'll move on. I talked to you off air just a second ago. You've been watching the program. You saw Robert Mosley talk a lot about this case with Cam Robinson and Hootie Jones. What are your thoughts?
You know, like I told you off the air, I was very, very surprised when he talked about the rental car, and then I was also surprised when he brought in, when it came out that there was two other people in the car with them that didn't get arrested. That was very surprising to me. But with everything that Mr. Mosley said, I think that what the outcome is what it should have been. Because if you take away the gun charges, obviously it's still very dumb on their part, but you take away the gun charge and it's not really that serious of an offense. So I think he should be suspended a game or two, him and Hootie both. I think Hootie was very fortunate that he was with Cam.
True.
But yeah, I think that justice may have been served in a different way.
Let's talk about some of the play on the field or what is coming up. Alabama's already had one player leave in Sean Burgess, and now Maurice Smith, there's talk that he may leave, even though that's not set in stone yet. He may be transferring out to play for another program. How's that going to affect Alabama's depth next year?
Well, as far as Maurice Smith goes, I've heard that he really wants to be a true cornerback, and I don't see that happening at Alabama. As far as depth with Maurice Smith, he was a good nickel back for us. So I think that it's definitely going to hurt depth, but we're still awaiting the Tony Brown what that outcome is going to be. But you got young guys like Kendall Sheffield, and then the four we brought in this past signing day. That I don't think it hurts the depth that much, especially with Sean Burgess-Becker. Even in the spring game, he was a third string safety. I think we're going to be fine as far as depth is concerned.
The quarterback saga continues. It looks like for all the world, it'll be Cooper Bateman coming out of spring if that's all you go by. But then you hear so many positive things about Jalen Hurts. And now Blake Barnett, through social media no less, has really worked his way into the fans' hearts. So I think he is the fan favorite, no doubt. Who do you think ends up taking that first snap against USC?
Well, I still think it's a little bit too soon to tell because this time last year, Jay Coker he didn't have the position locked up at this time last year, and he ended up carrying us to a national championship. If you do go by the spring, I agree with you. It's going to be Cooper Bateman. But, Blake, you saw the videos of Blake working hard in the off season, going to out with George Whitfield out in California, and then the same thing with Jalen, also working very hard. I think if I were to say right now, it's going to be Cooper Bateman, but if not, then I'm going to say Blake Barnett. I think it's a little bit too soon for Jalen, even though I do love what he could bring to the table eventually.
Bill Battle, the athletic director at Alabama, is taking a leave of absence to take on the cancer he's suffering from right now. What does this mean? Was this a surprise to you?
It wasn't. I knew about the health issues, but it was a surprise to me that he is taking a leave of absence at this time, especially after we just hired a baseball coach. But it's surprising, and I don't know really what they're going to do because, when Mal was sick, that he had Bill step in for him. I haven't heard that who they're going to have to step in for Bill. But, yes, it definitely was a surprise when I saw that come across today.
Kavon Bennett, the son of Cornelius Bennett, an Alabama legend, commits to the University of Tennessee. Was this a shock to you? Do you feel like Alabama's made a mistake here? Or do you feel like this is just something that goes on with Nick Saban's Alabama where if you're a three-star, no matter if you're a legacy or not, Nick Saban's probably going to go a step or two up?
Yeah, the thing with Nick Saban, you don't win as many games as he does, handing out favorites or giving favoritism to ex-players. But I think Bennett's a pretty good ball player. I don't think it's over yet for Alabama and him. I think later in the process that, if we miss on a couple guys, that he could definitely come back into play. But, I know we don't like to get into the recruiting rankings and stuff like that. He's not that highly touted of a recruit. I know that he's been here once, maybe twice, and the coaches did like what they saw when he worked out for them. But no, it wasn't a surprise for me. It was a surprise that he committed so early because he really did want that Alabama offer.
Austin Troxell from Madison Academy commits to Auburn over Alabama. What are your thoughts on him as a player?
Well, my thoughts on him as a player, he's really good. I thought Alabama had a really good shot at him, but when you have guys like Elliott Baker that just committed not last week, I think, and then you have some other guys that are on the list that we were really in for. I wasn't surprised he chose Auburn, but like I said, he is a really good player, and Auburn got a really good one with that one.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I've been able to follow his career for quite some time, seen him play in numerous state championship games. But, Jamie, why don't you tell everybody about your podcast, Talk of Champions?
Yeah, Talk of Champions, me and co-host Tyler Dalton, we've been doing it for a little over a year now. We took a hiatus the past couple of weeks, but Luke, we kind of modeled it after yours and Jimmy's podcast. Y'all are kind of an inspiration to us to do it. And as far as the website goes, like y'all are an inspiration to us, Rodney Orr was the inspiration to me to do it when I worked for him. And we just want to, we're going to have the podcast in with the website, and we just want to be a little bit different from everybody else because we're going to be young. And one thing I want to add to it is that, not a lot of websites really cover baseball. We're going to have the president of the Right Field Rangers, Will Elliott. He is going to be our baseball guy. I'm sure he'll dabble into some football and basketball here and there, but he'll help bring a good following with as being the president of the Right Field Rangers.
Oh, I think that's huge. And speaking of baseball, what do you think about the new hire?
I like Golf as a coach. He did really well at La Tech when he didn't have a whole lot to work with. But I wish that we would have aimed a little bit higher. But in the end, I think we got a good coach. I really do.
Ironically, he may have had more to work with at La Tech than he will when he comes to Alabama this next year, it sounds like.
But the good thing about him is he's going to get to bring in his own guys.
True.
And that he's very comfortable with. So, and he has some young talent here. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do. I think they made the right move. I think it was time for a change. But I'm cautiously optimistic about it right now.
Well, Jamie, thanks so much for joining us, bud. We'll have you on again soon, and do enjoy your podcast, and thanks for the kind words about talking Tuscaloosa with Jimmy and me.
All right. Thank you, Luke.
All right, Jamie, have a good night. That was Jamie Barnes, does a fantastic job, really does have a great podcast. He'll get on there and do Periscope, and that's a lot of fun sometimes. National Signing Day, I followed him on that. This is a guy that really knows his stuff, and I think he's going to do some big things with his new website, whatever he names it. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Foshi Boat Dock, located on Highway 280 in Dadeville, Alabama, can handle your boat from bow to stern. Let's start with safety. Life jackets, kill switches, and other safety equipment, trailer tires to spark plugs, accessories galore, new and used motors, jet skis, pontoons, and runabout boats. Brett Foshi has 20 plus years in keeping us afloat. Come on by today at Foshi Boat Dock in Dadeville, 256-825-5525.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
At Bone and Joint Specialists, there is no better feeling than to know that we have helped make someone's life better. Orthopedic surgeons Dr. Paul Goldhagen and Dr. Martha George treat all injuries and conditions related to your bones, joints, and muscles for both adults and pediatric patients while specializing in arthritis and sports medicine. 256-329-9133 or visit us online at bonesandjoints.com. Alexander City, Wetumpka, Sylacauga, and Dadeville. Bone and Joint Specialists, getting you back into the game of life.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. Here at my office, we want to be different than the big city billboard lawyers. We want to give your case the personal attention that it deserves. We handle auto accidents, tractor-trailer accidents, and other cases where our clients have been injured and need personal legal attention. To me and my staff, you will not just be another number on the case file, and we will return your phone calls. So if you've been injured, give me a call today or visit us on our website.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. Luke Robinson and Adam Blankenship. Going to talk a little NBA Finals now. We're going to bring in our resident NBA expert, Mr. Scott Hardy. Scott, how are you tonight?
Doing well, guys. How you doing?
Don't lie. We know you've been a little sick. It's okay.
Well, yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but anything for the sports book game.
I hear you. So Cleveland, they finally bring home a title. It was far and away the best game of the series. I think in the end, the NBA got just what it wanted, and if they did fix it, they fixed it oh so well.
Yeah, I think there were several storylines that were taking place throughout this series, but I think the key one, at least from an outsider's perspective, if you didn't really have any ties, you had affiliations to wanting Cleveland to finally get over the snide and get a championship. So I think that was first and foremost from the NBA's perspective. Not only did Cleveland win the championship, but the NBA was the sport of choice, or the sport that allowed that to happen. So I think that's the first and foremost. Secondly, LeBron, I think, finally gets the monkey off his back. He didn't win the championships there in Miami, but I think he needed to win one in Cleveland to validate his status of being one of the top 2 or 3 players of all time, and to do it on the road in Game 7 and probably the hardest place of the last 10, 15 years to play basketball. I think that was a tremendous feat for he and the Cavaliers.
Hey, Scott, do you think this was more of a LeBron conquest or more about Steph Curry completely disappeared in Game 7? Not even Game 7, I guess in the entire finals as is. You know, we do the show together, and you know how much I love LeBron, so I know that's a kind of layup. But do you think it's more about how well he played or how bad the two-time reigning MVP showed out in the finals?
Well, I mean, you could address Steph on a multitude of levels. Even going back to last year, he really didn't have that great of a series, which was indicated in Iguodala being the MVP of the finals. But I think that he hasn't received as much as he's going to receive going down the line after people really have time to reflect on the finals performances from last year and this year. But I think this is all credit to LeBron. The finals, they were down 3-1. So if you want to say that, you could say that it was more of a meltdown for the Thunder than an accomplishment for the Warriors, which a lot of people said that the Warriors deserve the credit for that. So if you're going to use that for the Western Conference Finals, I think that same mindset needs to be placed for the finals. What LeBron and the Cavs did with help from Kyrie, as well as people like Kevin Love and J.R. Smith, and just what they were able to do to come back from 3-1 and again to win that Game 7 on the road, I think only validates how great of a player he is and what an achievement this was for this team.
Yeah, Scott, I know you're a big LeBron James fan. I am too, really. I don't see how you can't be a LeBron James fan. However, watching that Game 7 towards the end, he missed a few shots down the stretch that I thought were really going to cost the team, and it turns out it's Kyrie Irving that hits the big shot to put him over the hump, and it's his block, his defense that really saves the day. Were you worried as a LeBron James fan right there at the end when he missed a couple of shots that, oh no, here we go again?
Well, somewhat. I will say, though, there was a moment with about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3, he hit a big three-pointer on the left wing that I think that really gave me some indication that this was going to be his time. But if you look at it, in 2 of Jordan's 6 championships, Paxson and Stephen Kerr were 2 people who hit game-winning shots or go-ahead shots to solidify those wins. So I think that over the course of the series, he did enough to warrant the attention that he's getting. And you talk about the defensive play. I think that kind of sums up the type of player LeBron is. He's an overall player and not just the scorer that you see with somebody like a Steph Curry. So when he's not playing well offensively, what else does Steph bring to the table? LeBron could hit 15 points a game and still be the best player on the floor because he's the best passer in the league, and at any given time could defend any of the positions on the floor. So I think that coming into this game, I thought that LeBron was top 10. He was already there, but this championship win, I think, puts him in the top 5 for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. And going back to Steph, do you think his performance in the finals and the way they played him defensively kind of goes with what everyone kind of says already about how, well, if Steph played back in the day, then they would play, their defense would have locked him down. This and that you hear about a lot. Do you think that kind of feeds into that stereotype there as well?
Well, I didn't initially because it's hard to compare when you talk about the physicality of both leagues, or of the genres of the 90s and the 80s, and comparing it to now. I think that the difference that you see is the refs allowed you to do more then. So I think in today's game it's a little harder to play that way defensively because you can't hand check or do those types of things. But they were very liberal in their calls toward the end, especially in games 5 through 7. And so that allowed the Cavs to kind of play a different style of defense. So you're right, if you can pressure Steph and get a hand on him, he's not as effective. And when he's not as effective, that puts more pressure on somebody like a Klay Thompson, who ultimately I think is maybe the second best shooter behind Steph. But one of those two has to be on at all times. And to be honest, neither really had a defining moment or a great finals performance from Game 3 on.
Well, Scott, we appreciate you being on with us. It's going to be a fun NBA offseason as you talk about the Thunder earlier. Kevin Durant is going to be heavily pursued, and apparently the Warriors have their sights set on him. Dirk Nowitzki has opted out of his contract with the Dallas Mavericks. That's going to be crazy to see him in any other uniform. It's going to be a fun offseason, man. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Get better, Scott.
Scott Hardy, our NBA expert. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
For over 60 years, people in East Central Alabama have relied on the team at Jackson Refrigeration for the highest standards in heating and air installation and service. Now they've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, and you can still count on their reputation to make your comfort their priority with quality Goodman products with the best warranty in the industry. Whether it's new construction or a complete unit change, Jackson Refrigeration and A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the go-to team for over 60 years, where your comfort is our priority.
At Brown Nursing Home, you'll find quality care and comfortable living. We take great pride in our rehabilitation services, including short-term rehabilitation. We offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy, as well as skilled nursing care. Brown is located on Washington Street in Alexander City. For more information, contact Cecily Lee, the administrator, at 256-329-9061.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson, along with Adam Blankenship. We've just been inundated with guests tonight, and that's a good thing. We enjoy having guests on. We usually have some good guests and try and get some new faces out there for the folks. I know that Justin has gotten us a guy in Toronto recently when the Cavs were playing the Raptors, and that was a lot of fun. So we try and reach out across borders if we can.
It's always nice to bring in that new perspective and a different perspective. And, you know, we talk to each other a lot, and everyone else around here kind of talks. So it's nice to have some different voices and different faces as well. So
I agree. Mentioned the Bill Battle thing. Can't really spend a lot of time on it. It's kind of fresh out there, and you feel sorry for him. Hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to Athletic Director Bill Battle, and all the best for a speedy recovery. I'll tell you, Bill Battle, to me, is a little like Lane Kiffin in the sense that I don't think anybody thought he would be here very long. Yeah. And he's been at Alabama quite some time now. I mean, he's made some pretty significant hires. And he just hired the baseball coach, hired Avery Johnson. And they talk about a potentially contentious relationship between he and Saban. Obviously, Mal and Saban, Mal was attached to Saban, and he should have been, because without Saban, I think Mal might be gone. Might have been gone.
Yeah.
But Mal did more good for Alabama than just about any athletic director ever by convincing Saban to come to Alabama. So that's always going to be his legacy. And Mal was a great, great human being. And then Bill Battle comes in. Of course, Battle was incredibly successful in the business world. And so he's obviously going to have somewhat of an ego.
Yeah,
and Saban's got an ego. And sometimes those can clash. But really, they've gotten along pretty doggone well, if you ask me.
And they've been really successful together.
Yeah,
as well,
they have
too,
been pretty successful. But I related it to the Lane Kiffin thing because I don't think people thought Lane Kiffin was anything more than a stopgap, which is what they thought Bill Battle would be.
I surely didn't realize or think that Lane Kiffin would stick around as long as he has. I figured, with his past and with his history and everything, you thought this is just a speed bump to the next job. And so that's really kind of, it's taken me by surprise as well, too.
Well,
so I agree with that.
I'm right there with you. I can't imagine, I can tell you this. 3 years ago, if you had told me Lane Kiffin would be at Alabama 3 years, I would say you're out of your mind.
No
Not
doubt.
only has he been at Alabama 3 years,
No doubt.
he has set numerous records.
Oh, yeah.
And he's won a Heisman Trophy with a guy. He's won the Biletnikoff with a guy. He's turned two, call a spade, subpar quarterbacks into very good, solid quarterbacks that went to the playoffs.
What he did last year deserves an award. So I've said that, and my friends know that I was not real fond of Coker, but I mean, for him to do what he did with that guy was amazing.
I was right there with you. I thought that we could not win a national championship with Jake Coker, and I fluctuate on what was the turning point for him. Was it not starting against Ole Miss, or was it being so incredibly tough at a game I was able to witness firsthand, the Georgia game, which was the very next week. Everybody thought Alabama was going to lose 2 in a row. They go into Georgia, and if you watch the pass from Coker to Ridley, which was a thing of beauty, about a 50-yarder, Coker gets absolutely drilled right after he lets the ball go. And he gets up and shows so much toughness. And that's how he was the rest of the year. Just really, really tough. If you remember in the Clemson game, it was about 3rd and 3 inside the 10-yard line. Alabama could have, they don't convert, they kick a field goal, go up 8, but against Deshaun Watson, it may not be enough in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's able to scramble to get the yardage he needs. He's just a tough, gritty kid.
He was.
Trying to work his way on the Arizona Cardinals roster right now. But did we mention the baseball coach hired? Greg Goff? Did we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we spoke on it a little bit last week, I believe. And I kind of agree with Jamie Barnes.
Yeah.
What he was talking about with that too. I feel like anything from where we were is an increase or we're plus money now. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and the fact that he can bring his staff in there with him as well, I think it's going to help a lot. It's going to benefit. So we need to change. So it's nice to see that.
I think we waited a year too late.
Oh, I agree 100%. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3, but I can definitely say it was a year too late. We're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process, from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
CTE Small Engines next to Tigertown and Opelika is East Alabama's full lawn and land equipment supercenter. CTE Small Engines offers full mower lines from Husqvarna to Toro, whether it's the Toro Zero Turn MX5000 or the great line of tough Husqvarna push mowers. CTE has the region's best prices and selection. CTE offers a full line of Echo to make taming your lawn a breeze. And best of all, CTE has a full service department for warranty work. CTE Small Engine in Opelika, your lawn's ultimate sales and service center.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
Woo, it's hot outside.
Summer is here and you can save like never before during the Drive and Discover event at Bice Motors. Save over $4,600 on this new, well-equipped Jeep Cherokee Sport, now just $20,500.
That's a good-looking Jeep.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
You won't get savings like these anywhere else.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live. You know what? We only have a short segment here. I just noticed, or I just remembered something. The beginning of the show. Okay, we have a pretty long intro, and one of the intros, of course, is the kick six, and then the Alabama side of the intro is a meaningless 80-yard touchdown run by Derrick Henry against Arkansas when I think we won 52-0. They could at least put Kenyon Drake's touchdown run from the national championship game in the kickoff. But anyway, I digress. This is what happens when you get two Bammers up here. We will complain about how much Auburn stuff there is in the program.
But of all the things, though, all the moments that have happened, why not? You know what I mean? There's tons of different things you could pick for us there.
Well, and the funnier thing was I was at that game, the Arkansas game, and I remember the run because not 2 minutes before the run, when he comes in the game, at that point he was more of the third string guy. He comes in, and I'm telling everybody, he's switching the linebacker. I mean, he's too big, he's too upright, he's too this, he's too that, he's 80 yards to the crib, and everybody really jokes on me for a while. I missed the boat on Derrick Henry like a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I thought for all the world he would end up playing another position than what he did, and all he did was prove everybody wrong and win the Heisman Trophy.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all he did. We can talk a little finals here in just a minute, but a couple of things that are out there. First of all, if Kevin Durant does stay put with the Thunder, there are a lot of rumors that the Warriors will go after Dirk Nowitzki very, very heavily. And that would be an interesting thing to have a shooter like Nowitzki, to have obviously Klay Thompson and Steph Curry on the same team, and Draymond Green too. My goodness.
And it is. I'm trying to figure out how he fits though, because even this year in the finals, that team was loaded with shooters. I mean, who's going to be? Because Draymond's going to play the 4. I mean, so what, you put Dirk at the 5, and you're going to struggle on defense there. And it's all hearsay. I think everybody's kind of scrambling for stories and everything too. I guess I would kind of like to see it. But I'm more interested to see how they go with with Durant. I know their owners come out and say they're going to be very aggressive in the offseason, so they're really going to make a push for that too. But I think that's an interesting story right there as well. I want to see how the chemistry works between those if he does go there. He's a ball-dominant guard, or ball-dominant player, so it's going to be interesting to see how that would mesh and how that would mold too.
I really want Durant to stay put with Russell Westbrook. I'd much rather have the rivalry between those two teams.
Yeah, it's good for the league.
Than have Durant join the Warriors. If you take Durant and Westbrook off Oklahoma City, what's left? I mean, do you really want to watch them?
No,
and that's what's there are too many teams out there like that.
It's going to happen, though.
I'm pro having an alpha dog.
Yeah.
I want to have a team that everybody's chasing, which this year was the Warriors. They just didn't get the job done in the end. But I want to have a team everybody's chasing. I don't like parity across the board, but I like there to be a reason to watch the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And if you have that Thunder versus Warriors matchup was one for the ages. Meanwhile, you look over at Toronto against Cleveland, and while it got to 2-2, it never felt like
Cleveland was going
to lose that series.
Yeah.
I mean, Toronto had a glimmer of hope, but you never felt like. And of course, I say that. I also was on this program last week with you and said there's no chance for all the world that Cleveland's going to win 3 in a row against Golden State. And I wasn't alone. I was just as stupid as everybody else.
Oh, I agree. And I even said on our show, after the first 2 games, I was like, this series is over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no way. But one thing I want to point out real quickly, though, is LeBron's numbers over the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just absolutely unbelievable. He averaged 29 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, 9 assists, 2.6 steals, 2.3 blocks, and he shot 49%. He's the first player to ever lead in all categories throughout an entire series.
And
unbelievable. I guess that's why you come back from 3-1 right there.
Well, and for whatever reason, he still has a lot of doubters out there, but if you ask me, he's hater-proof for life. So he might, but
he's the greatest. He's the king.
I'm still going to take Jordan.
Oh, of course.
But I mean, LeBron's up there.
Yeah,
he's in the conversation.
Finals, so hey.
I get you, but again,
he brought a championship to Cleveland.
It's a big deal. I get it. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a big deal.
Here's my one argument on that. Okay. All right, if you look at Jordan in his championships, he was on, like, if you compare that to this year, his team was the Warriors. He was not the underdog in those. He had the better team in every one of those matchups. But LeBron has always taken the worst team, and even last year.
No, not
finals.
Always taken the worst team.
Okay, the Heat.
I mean, the Heat were pretty strong.
But I mean, you're talking 2 or 3 years that he was there. He's been to 6 straight finals. That 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers team was the worst. They weren't good.
Put
a team together,
and they got swept.
Yeah, but to get them to the finals was unreal.
It was very good.
Then last year they even went 6 games, and he had Kyrie injured. He had everyone injured. So
I agree with everything you're saying, and that's why he's in the conversation. Yeah. But he ain't overtaking.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the live portion of the program. We'll have an interview with Kyle Caldwell on here in just a couple of segments, and also an interview from Sports Call with Brian Matthews. You'll stay put for that.
Mike Bradbury has served our community needs with the best durable medical equipment and respiratory care. Now Mike has expanded his medical equipment services to form Southern Patient Care. Southern Patient Care is still home-owned and ready to serve all your medical needs. And our commitment is to provide skilled, qualified, and professional consultation and set up with 24-hour service and all medical claims handled. Visit Mike at the all-new Southern Patient Care, the new name and the most dependable products and service, located on Airport Road in Alexander City.
Do you know know that C&T Electric offers a home protection plan for your electrical system? Are you wondering what this is or why you need one? Just like your heating, cooling, and plumbing systems, your electrical system needs to be maintained also. With C&T Electric's home protection plan, you receive annual electrical safety inspections, priority service when you call, discounts on all electrical services, and the dispatch fee is waived on all calls. Call C&T Electric at 256-234-0007 today.
Over the years, S&S Tires grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. We had hoped to have Mark Burnett on tonight. He's in Disney World, though, and he wasn't able to join us. He said he was going to be able to join us if he could get somewhere quiet, but he's in Disney World. Very few places are quiet in Disney World. So we're going to wrap the show up here. Talk a little bit about this soccer game that's going on right now between the U.S. and Argentina. Right now, Argentina has a 1-0 lead, and not looking good for the U.S.
Yeah, you can tell, like that pass right there, the style of play and I guess just the athletes are just completely different. And we were talking off air, you know, I feel like soccer has really grown and is kind of becoming more important to the United States and everything, but I just don't understand why we can't become more competitive. I mean, we're not terrible, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I feel like we should be better than what we are.
Well, on the women's side, we're pretty strong.
Dominant, yeah, dominant.
But on the men's side, we just can't get it going. I think one of the reasons is that it's our better athletes end up playing other sports. You end up playing, you know, baseball, you make a lot more money. Basketball, make a lot more money. Football, probably make more money and be more popular.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where soccer has been, I've been told soccer is going to be, is always the up-and-coming sport since I was a boy in the 70s. So, and I think it is growing, but I think other sports are growing too. I mean, the NFL is always going to be growing, it seems like, no matter what gets thrown at it. Its popularity just continues to rise. The NBA now, with a much more fast-paced action, is regaining its popularity. It's overtaken baseball as the second most popular sport in the country. And baseball, third most popular. You know, it's America's pastime. It's always going to be in the conversation. But, you know, given the choice of soccer or hockey, which one are you watching?
Oh, soccer.
Really?
All day long.
I've
tried hockey. I tried to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs or the finals. I've tried to watch playoffs. I can't get into it. And I guess mainly because I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think part of the problem, and this may be with soccer as well, is it's it's a sport that it's hard. It doesn't translate to TV very well. To me.
Really.
Hockey doesn't because you can't keep your eye on the puck.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly.
very difficult.
And everyone who's always gone said, well, if you go to a live hockey game, you'll love it because there's
Yeah.
so much other stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't see on TV. But yeah, definitely soccer all day. And I think hockey would be better if they just eliminated offsides. I think it'd make it a lot faster and it'd be a lot more scoring.
And that way, you mean if you clear it and you might have a one-on-one very quick.
Just get rid of offsides, get rid of icing, remove all that, and just let them play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And soccer, that's one thing. I guess maybe we're watching a pretty small TV up in a corner over here. That may be part of the problem. But it's just the field seems so vast that it would almost be better if it were condensed a little bit more, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to throw something out there. Of course, soccer doesn't need our help popularity-wise worldwide.
Oh, no doubt. And I'd say I follow Team USA, and I've even watched some of the English Premier League stuff this past spring and everything. So I'm coming around. I'm getting there. I'm just curious to know why we can't be more competitive. It bothers me. But we've got some great athletes, and we've got some great players that's playing in different countries. I just don't see why we can't put it together and have a strong national team. I guess it's depth. It's like anything else. The less depth you have, the more you're going to struggle.
That's exactly right. Well, look, that's going to do it for our portion of the program. Really do enjoy doing this each and every week. Adam, thanks for being on. We've been co-hosting this the last 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll get to do it some more in the upcoming months. And really thank everybody out there for watching. Do stay tuned. Great interview between Scott Hardy and Kyle Caldwell, who is a legend in these parts. Quarterback for Dadeville, did so many big things. Now the offensive coordinator and head baseball coach for the Dadeville Tigers. And then after that, there'll be a replay of the interview between Andy Graham from the Sports Call team and Brian Matthews of the Auburn rival site. That's going to be it for us. We'll catch you next week.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Russell Do It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
Choosing a mattress should be simple. You just pick springs or foam. Springs or foam. Why not both? Half springs, half foam. A hybrid from Sealy with extra core support in the place you need it most. See? It is simple. The Sealy Posturepedic Premier Hybrid. It's the best of both for your best sleep yet.
24-month financing available on select models. Only at Holly's Home Furnishings.
At the Medicine Shop, we're dedicated to the idea that quality pharmacy care means more than just prompt prescriptions. When you come to the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, you'll be able to count on dependable care from a knowledgeable pharmacist. The Medicine Shop is the only compounding pharmacy in the area, and we offer the shingles vaccine year-round. Bring your prescriptions by the drive-thru on Airport Drive in Alex City, or input them online at www.medicineshop.com, or call them at 256-215-8014. The Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions.
Gotta get the Gibbs.
Gill's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gill's. Selection and price, got to get to Gill's. Gotta get to Gill's.
Did you know that Gill's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gill's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gill's.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Kyle Caldwell, who is the new head coach of the Dadeville Tiger baseball team, as well as the offensive coordinator for the football team. Thanks for joining me, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we'll start with the football side of things since that's the closest in terms of sports. First off, how does it feel to be able to come back and be a part of something that you helped build? I know that you were part of a team that went 0-10, and the following year going 10-0 after a change of offense. So how does it feel to be able to come back and generate some momentum for your community?
You know, it's a blessing. You know, as a coach, your goal is to, you know, get the best exposure that you can for your students, your players. So my goal is, you know, get them to college, you know, give them a chance that they don't think they have. So that's one of my main goals, get these guys as much exposure as I can.
Yeah, and speaking of exposure, you're definitely someone who helped bring some of that to the Dadeville Tiger program, and being somebody who was so influential in bringing it prominence. Do you feel any added pressure to continue the success that has already been maintained so far?
Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, you got Anthony and Sean D, they're at Alabama, and you got Rod at Southern Miss, and Jalen Johnson, Nick Johnson at JSU, and then CJ's at Auburn now. He was at Harding, and there's some more players. There's a couple more guys in California playing, and even some guys in Georgia playing. So that's a lot of places that have ties to Dadeville. So it's definitely a challenge to get these guys to the next level. But with those guys being a kind of missionary from Dadeville or being from Dadeville to help out, you know, it's going to help out a lot.
Yeah, and we're very excited about all of those names that you mentioned. And, again, you guys were part of the process of getting things back to what this community is accustomed to. So we'll talk a little bit about that. You'll be the offensive coordinator. Obviously, you played quarterback here and played quarterback on the collegiate level as well. What, I guess, experiences from your playing days do you plan to bring back as the offensive coordinator?
Well, just a multitude of things. You know, as a coach, you can only do what the type of offense that you have the players for. I mean, if you have a spread guys on your team, you can't really run power eye running game. You got to spread it out a little bit. But we got some guys to be able to do a bunch of different stuff, and so we're going to do what's best for our team. We got a bunch of returning linemen, so that's a lot of seniority and leadership up front, so we're going to lean on those guys a lot.
And from a personnel standpoint, quarterback, running back, skill position players, who are some names that the community can look forward to hearing and fans can look forward to cheering for this fall?
Well, you definitely got your quarterback, your returning Margarius Buchanan. You know, he's definitely gotten some exposure from past year. He lost some receivers, but there's going to be some young guys step up. Tight end, Trey Johnson, you can look forward to him. And then a couple running backs are going to be moving in and out. We got some guys that can, you know, 1-2 punch that can carry the load. So I'm excited about those.
Yeah, and again, we're here with Kyle Caldwell, who is the offensive coordinator for the Dadeville Tiger football team. And there's been a little restructuring of regions across the state, but I know that you guys are very familiar with a lot of the teams that you'll be playing. So what are some strengths and weaknesses of the team that you see so far that as summer workouts and fall in the spring that has taken place?
I think some of the strengths are our running game coming from the spring ball. And getting in here at workouts, you know, these guys are ready to get after it. These guys that were before them, you know, the brothers at Alabama and Rod Creighton and some of the defensive linemen from my playing days, you know, they set great examples of how to get after it in the weight room. So these guys, they don't really have to, you know, learn how to work out. They just have to get after it, and that's what they're good at. But I think we can improve on the passing game a little bit. We didn't do it much in the spring because you want to do what you're good at in the spring just to kind of get your feet wet. But we're going to get in it this summer a lot with the passing game, and that's when they're going to get used to it. So,
Can you talk a little bit about the dynamic or the relationship between you and Coach Richard White, someone who coached you, and now you have an opportunity to let him be sort of a mentor for you, and how's that relationship been going so far?
It's good. You know, him and my dad, they coached softball up here for good 15 years, and they're really good friends. They're hunting buddies. And so, he was always down at the house, or Dad was up there, so we were always around each other. As him as my coach, he always pushed me to be the best I can be. And so I see aspects of, his coaching style and even my dad's coaching style influence in me. He's not going to put a lot of pressure on me, but, he's going to be right in my ear, and he expects me to do the best that I can, But as a coach, you don't want anything less, because you want to be pushed to be the best just like you do as a player.
Absolutely. Well, we'll transition over to the baseball side of things, where you serve as the head coach for that program. So obviously that is going to entail a little more responsibility there. But what things have you been doing so far? How involved with the program have you been since you've joined the Dable squad?
Well, we've been I've been field maintenance already, cutting grass. You got to stay on top of that. That's probably one of the biggest pet peeves that he always mentioned to me. And, Coach Nolan, he's a legend here, and so it's going to be hard to follow in the guy's footsteps, and losing 2 seniors and going to have 11 seniors next year, that's going to help out a lot, though, because that's a lot of seniority. And I know there's a lot of people in this community that have already reached out to me to say that if I need any help or just to ask them. So I don't think I'm afraid to ask for help, so.
Yeah, and again, you talk about Coach Nolan, somebody who had such a great career here and impacted so many lives. What was his advice to you as you got ready to take over for him?
He was just saying there's not a lot of stuff that he can tell me that I didn't already know. You just got to get in there and get your feet wet. Most of it's trial by error. And so the good thing is, you got a great administration here at Dayville. You have a Coach White's athletic director, so you have a good support team behind you, and they're going to support you. And so the only thing you do is get in there and work.
And again, on the baseball side of things, a little young for some people's taste, but do you feel that there's any weighted pressure, again, on that end from an age standpoint for you to have to prove yourself, or once the season starts, people will definitely know what they're dealing with and Coach Caldwell?
Well, I was taught baseball by my parents and Coach Nolan, so there's not going to be a lot of changing from the teaching of baseball standpoint. We may do some things different, but I believe, he taught baseball the right way, and that's the way I'm going to teach it. And so that if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We're going to give our best. We're going to have a great attitude. We're not going to disrespect the game, because it'll always come back and bite you if you do.
Absolutely. Well, Kyle, we're very excited about this opportunity for you, someone that we've covered during your playing days, and now have an opportunity to cover you during your coaching style, and your days here as a coach will be definitely something that we look forward to doing. So on behalf of Sportz Blitz, congratulations, and we look forward to catching up with you as the fall continues and then we get ready for baseball season.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, for Sportz Blitz Live Local Look-In, I'm Scott Hardy. Back to you.
If you currently have an FHA mortgage, this commercial is for you. Most people that currently have an FHA mortgage are working with Home Place Mortgage to refinance their current loan. Several items have changed to make now the perfect time to refinance. FHA has reduced the amount of monthly mortgage insurance. Current interest rates for FHA loans are at all-time lows. FHA has eliminated the need for new appraisal. Most people will be able to refinance with little or no closing costs. This is the opportunity that you have been waiting for. Call now to start saving.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
My parents got good news the other day. Mommy and Daddy were really happy. This is how happy they were. They were actually dancing. That was hard to watch. Whew, at least they didn't kiss.
Russell Medical Center, delivering future leaders of tomorrow, today.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why Steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Find your Steel outdoor products and more at the new Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Woo, it's hot outside.
Summer is here and you can save like never before during the Drive and Discover event at Bice Motors. Save over $4,600 on this new well-equipped Jeep Cherokee Sport, now just $20,500.
That's a good-looking Jeep.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
You won't get savings like these anywhere else.
And our good friend Brian Matthews from AuburnSports.com. Brian, how's your week going so far?
Pretty good. Just trying to stay out of the seat.
Yeah, it's definitely summer. I know yesterday was the first day, but I think it's been around for a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's a beautiful day outside. Brian, let's talk a little bit about the weekend that Auburn had. It was a very productive weekend. Auburn had a lot of visitors come in. And got one big commitment on the football side and got a couple of commitments on the baseball side. But let's talk about first Austin Troxell. How big of a surprise was this, him committing on over the weekend?
It was a fairly big surprise to me just because I can't think of any or many at all cases of a recruit who grew up an Alabama fan, who was highly recruited by Alabama, and had a firm offer, ended up, committing to Auburn and eventually signing with Auburn. And I think, that's what Austin Troxell did, and I think he's going to sign with Auburn in February. So I just think that was a huge recruiting win for them, and I give Tim Horton and Auburn staff a lot of credit for building that relationship over the last 2, 3, 4 years and continuing to get him and his family down for visits and just doing a terrific overall job in his recruitment.
Did he say anything specific about do you feel like he fit in better with the offense, or what was the reasoning behind him picking Auburn over Alabama?
Well, he felt like he fit in better at Auburn as a community, as a school, as a university. And I just think that says a lot about how much time and effort he put into evaluating all the schools he's looking at. And what a great job Auburn's coaches did of getting him down here multiple times and getting him familiar with the school and its traditions and the people around it. And I think that played the biggest part in his recruitment.
Like, of course, Kerryon Johnson, the first Madison Academy player to come to Auburn. Then you have, of course, Malik Miller. Do you think that it seems like a pipeline now? How much credit do you give Kerryon Johnson for being kind of the first to get this thing started?
I think that was important, having Kerryon Malik here too, and having people that he knows, he's played with, he's been through the battles with on the football field, and also just having those two be able to tell him exactly what it's like being a player here. Coaches can tell you a lot of things, but you can find out a lot more when you talk to the players that have been in the program, carry on for a couple of years, and Malik since January, to really help him get a player's eye view of what it's like to be a student and a student athlete at Auburn.
Now, of course, I mean, you know, nothing's set in stone, but let's just assume that he goes on to sign with Auburn. He projects as a tackle in the college ranks. Where is Auburn's recruiting as far as how many more offensive linemen or how many more tackles do you think they'll go after?
Well, tackle's one of the biggest needs in this class by far, and they've done a great job getting Calvin Ashley now and also Tractor committed to bookends to this class, and two guys that I could see playing and starting right away, and maybe playing together on both left and right tackle. And I think Auburn's going to try to sign at least one more guard or center in this class, and maybe another tackle too, because they haven't signed a whole lot of tackles and don't have a lot of depth to that position. So I could even see them looking in the junior college ranks and maybe trying to bring in a tackle there. But we'll see. Both Austin and Calvin are so talented and so physically developed for being seniors in high school. There's a possibility they can come in and play as true freshmen on the offensive line.
Auburn had several other visitors in this weekend, one of them being Kellen Mond and a receiver, I think from the same high school. Is it my understanding now that he says he's going to make a commitment in 2 or 3 weeks? And as far as some of the other guys that were in over the weekend, can you talk just a little bit about that?
Yeah, Kellen Mond was a big visitor this weekend for Auburn. He was at Texas A&M the week before. Auburn this week. He's going to choose one of those two schools here in the next couple of weeks, and he's going to spend those next couple of weeks at home thinking about it and talking over with his family and coaches and trying to come up with the best decision for him. And we'll see. He's a big target for Auburn, a dual threat quarterback who could potentially come in and play very early and be a guy that run that offense that we've seen be very, very effective and devastatingly effective when you have a dual threat quarterback, behind center. Some other guys that were in, I thought Nick Bonds was here again. He's a big offensive guard, I think, from Niceville, Florida. I think he said Auburn was a leader there, and he's going to take some more time before he makes his decision. But he did come up, I think, with his mom or his parents, just to learn more about the university and the aviation program. And it looks like Auburn's in really good shape. They're DeAndre Wilder from down in South area, very talented. I think Auburn made a very big impression on him his first ever visit, and he said Auburn will be in his top 5 when he comes out with that in September. And I'm trying to think who else was here. I know Hezekiah Jones was here. That's the young man that was also committed to Baylor. It's from Texas and came up with Kellen Mond. And he was very impressed with Auburn, has Auburn among his leaders now too.
KJ Britt, was he in town?
He was, and it's a big battle. Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, several other schools in the Southeast all battling for KJ Britt. And he said after Auburn's visit, he doesn't have a leader. It had been Georgia, it's been Auburn at another point in time. I think it's even been Florida maybe. But he said no leaders now, and he's just going to take some more time to figure out what he wants to do. But one positive sign I thought from KJ. He was here with Malcolm Askey was here too, another Auburn commit, and both those guys were the first guys to walk outside and congratulate Austin Truxell right after he committed.
That is an interesting piece of information there. Brian, you wrote a nice piece on an Auburn commitment, running back from junior college, Octavius Matthews. Can you just kind of give us a little preview, a little synopsis of that article?
Sure can, absolutely. Interesting story, I think, from his high school coach, Mark Rose, who, of course, coached, right around here and also at North Jackson. And, Mark talked about how when he got back to North Jackson, Octavius had not done really anything for his first 3 years of high school. I think he had 400 or so combined yards, but he sort of made a pact with his coach, and they just got down to work. And Mark said he had probably the best season of any player in North Jackson history as a senior. And then, of course, he went on to junior college, so he didn't have the grades, and wasn't receiving a lot of recruiting attention going into his senior season. Had a strong season at junior college. His coach there, Sean Cannon, told me that Tavis reminds him a little bit of Ontario McCaleb with his ability to run outside. The season was a very versatile guy, a guy who can still run between the tackles and can also has really good hands coming out of the backfield. They're going to use him in some different ways other than just as a tailback this season.
Switching over to baseball, again, it was a productive weekend all the way around for Auburn. Avoided some big casualties in the Major League Baseball draft, as of course, I think Davis Duval is the name, one of the big pitchers that Auburn needed to get into this class. I think he's decided, if that's right, to come to Auburn. Is the word back on Josh Anthony yet, the big-time hitter from junior college? Has he made a decision one way or the other?
Not that I know of. I think he was around the 16th or so round by the Braves, and he's a guy that just tore it up in junior college. Had around 45 or so home runs the last 2 seasons, and would be a guy that would start right away, right in the middle of Auburn's order if they can get him, in school. But no word on him yet. But Auburn's going to bring in about 20 guys, I feel like, in this class. And they're also, as you mentioned, really moving forward with 2017 recruiting, getting some big commitments here over the last a couple of days. One, Drew Talley, was a big pitcher from Huntsville, who I think committed, I think it was yesterday. And then another guy, I'm not sure if I remember his name.
Tanner Burns.
Yeah, former Alabama commit, a guy who Auburn's probably going to use as a dual threat guy. A guy can be a very talented pitcher, but also play in the field and hits very well too. So Auburn is Butch Thompson, his staff are going to bring in a lot of new players. It's sort of going to be a rebuilding job this coming up year, but they're doing a terrific job so far recruiting in 2017.
The season is here, and at Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals, our deals are getting hot. Lakeside Marina is your Bennington pontoon dealer, built for performance, quality construction, and a luxurious feel. Bennington Pontoons at Lakeside Marina with the industry's best outboard motors from Yamaha. And visit our new location on the west side of Lake Martin on Highway 63, close to Kowaliga Bridge, with a full line of Bennington pontoons. Shop at Blue Creek or our new location on Highway 63 West Lake for the best in Bennington pontoon and Kawasaki watercraft.
Over the years, S&S Tires has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. We are your dealer for Nature's Miracle state-of-the-art water filtration systems, providing sales and installation of systems for your whole house or under sink. Join our Diamond Club and enjoy many benefits and services while saving money and getting priority service scheduling. We offer financing, and our services include a 1-year satisfaction guarantee. All our technicians are trained, background tested, drug screened, and wear photo IDs to ensure your safety and peace of mind. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
No pest is too big or too small for Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Protect your home or business today from insects, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Lex uses only the latest state-of-the-art technology and equipment to solve your pest problem, including the environmentally friendly Centricon termite baiting system. Lex has been servicing the Lake Martin area for over 35 years, and he has a full staff on hand. Call Lex today, even if it's just a question. 256-234-6162. Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Smart solutions to your pest problems.
I was on my way to work one morning. I had a very bad car accident. The guy ran a stop sign and crashed into me. I called one of the big city billboard lawyers, and I realized that I was just another number on a case file. They never would return my calls. I decided to contact Dane Sharp. He and his staff were very professional. They're always helpful, and best of all, they really care about me.
Don't trust your case to a billboard. I've recovered millions of dollars for my clients, and I'm right here in the Lake Martin area. So if you've been injured, give me a call.